Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday, and today, don't get caught dead with your cane. And I'll explain what that acronym is all about, but as always, before we do that, warm welcome to those of you, all of you, those who are here for the first time, as well as faithful followers of the Cane Fist Way. There's 2 free resources. First thing you want to do, if you like the content, before you do anything else, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content. And then you have those 2 free resources. The first one is the no-cost Cane Clarity Call, where we schedule a time to listen to you and learn what is important to you, what is it that attracts you about this cane, where you are in the timeline of your training. We'll have a discussion. You'll walk out of there with a game plan that you can actually put to work right now, this year, 2023. Make it happen. Doesn't cost you a penny to do it. It's one of the smartest things you'll ever do. Text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. And then you have the Facebook group that is open to the general public. It's a private group. You do need to request entry. Look at the description down below. Request entry. We'll see you on the inside. Don't get caught dead. It's an acronym, D.E.A.D, with your cane. And I borrowed that. I spent some time this weekend with John Lovell of the Warrior Poet Society, and he featured us there when we did the Clint Emerson. We're featured in 100 Deadly Skills. It's episode, I believe it's number 30, episode number 13. In that series, so check it out. I was interviewed there, and we did some demos and whatnot. But this is something. He was a keynote speaker at a conference that we attended, and he used this acronym. I'm going to show you how it applies. By the way, I recommend John Lovell, Warrior Poet Society, and Clint Emerson, anything that they put out. John and I see eye to eye in a variety of things, including spirituality and protection, that kind of thing. I think if you like ACSD, you're going to find that a useful resource. And I'm going to share with you that acronym and specifically how it applies to the cane and what we do. And this is great if you're brand new and you just started this whole concept of cane self-defense, and in particular ACSD. It doesn't matter to me, you just started your experience. This never gets old, because this is more about tactics and strategy than it is a very specific application. And on the hierarchy of importance, those tactics and those strategies prevail over skills, and I'll explain why and give you a visual representation of each. So that first D is don't be a target. And how many times have you not heard me say that in particular? And there's 2 ways I want to demonstrate that for you. The first one is when we all come equipped with this inner voice that says, danger, danger, danger. Something about this situation just doesn't feel right. Don't be there for it. Get out of there. We're in Miami, and it's hot. It's in the midst of summer. And if I'm at the bank and somebody walks in, with a New York Giants hoodie on in the midst of summer, and they're just something about that situation and about their look and about everything else just doesn't feel right. Most of the people say, well, nothing's probably going to happen. Well, if that inner voice, you hear it, we've learned over the years how to quiet that down, but if it doesn't feel right, get out. That's the first one. The second one is to simply don't be a target when something is brewing. And physically, that means in ACSD, you have several tools. This is a tool. This is a 37.5-inch reach. This happens to be a Raven, by the way, which is a bazooka. You're keeping your opponent at a distance, but also the target. So look at where she is. And in proportion to, if I'm never giving you something square. This is a broad target. In particular, if she has a knife, she has a tool, you're only going to get half body. And in ACSD, we do refer to it as the HBC, or the half body concept. There's a whole training on how to move so that always, you see, this is where there's a difference. If you look at this is very different. This is very different than is this, right? With your cane, whether you're here, look at the broad shoulders, look at that. So don't be a target. Don't be there. Maximize distancing and the reach of the tool. And if something doesn't feel right, get out. right? E stands for early warning. Another way to say that, we use the term pre-attack indicators. That individual, again, that doesn't look, something doesn't feel right. If I'm at the back, I have no problem standing with my cane this way because I'm up to no good. Look at my face, the cameras are here, everything is good. But when you see somebody starting to close in, you're going from out here out in the open, and they start to close in, that's a sign. Pre-attack indicator, usually the bad guy, if you stand here, we're both at the counter here at Subway or wherever it is, and you know, it's late at night, and you can actually look this up on YouTube. They have plenty of this, right? Here's individual, probably, I would imagine this one in particular, I'm thinking it's got to be, you know, past their 60s. And here's a much younger individual, and he's looking, and it's just them two, because the person who's working the counter goes to the back. And now take a look here. I take a look. We may even make eye contact, I smile, but look at the swinging and the swaying side to side, the fidgeting. I am going to behave, and I'm going to do the complete total opposite of what my intention is. When I start swaying here and here, look at the arms are down. Here comes the load up, and boom, out, knocked out, right, hits the floor. So there's the impact of me hitting them to the head, and then when they land, all to take a wallet, right, to steal a wallet, because that's right how they. Now again, if it doesn't feel right, if I'm fidgeting, these pre-attack indicators, you start learning how to do it so that you're not there for it, or at the very least, if you cannot do anything about it, whether you have your tool or you don't have your tool, just hold up the tool and just bring, yeah, see that? And I test this all the time, guys, just bringing your hands up. I don't care. Watch this. So I'm gonna tap you right here. You know it's coming. You know, keep your hands down, and all you have to do is just block it away. Ready? Yeah, right. But now the guns come up. Yeah, and so I'll do the exact same thing all time, and I'll try to get there. And just because the hands are up, you're not gonna get there. You have to have these built-in mechanisms, right? And know that, hey, this is too close. I don't feel comfortable with this. And you can test this with your students and with anybody in your own family, and say, hey, listen, I'm going to start walking up to you. And for everybody is different. When I start walking and getting closer and you don't feel comfortable, just raise your cane. Just take your cane from here and bring it to here for me. When you don't feel comfortable with the way I'm coming, right? And I'll show you, because there's something, maybe you might or may not see my eyes, but there's something here, right? I'm over here and I may be smiling, but suddenly I do this. Whoa, that's hurt. Did you see how it goes from here to here? Passive ready stance, one foot in front of the other. That's what I'm talking about. You know, those are the early warning signs. A stands for access denied. And that is simply, and it ties in to the first two. See, all of these are related. Don't be a target. And by not being, you start shutting down the possibilities. I start denying access. One of the easiest ways to do that is you're being approached and she's coming with a story. Hey, I lost my this, I lost that. Listen, I gotta go. I gotta see how I keep my distance out here. I create a distance and I don't let them continue. And I'm always in a hurry. I'm always busy, even when I'm not. Listen, I gotta go. I'll catch you next time because I got my Uber waiting, and I just keep giving you half angles and increasing my distance. By doing that, you start shutting down the probabilities that you're going to get targeted. What's the value of this thing? The fact that it's in my hand, it's already drawn, and I have a reach advantage. Well, use it. It's a distance thing. When you absolutely have gone through these and there's no other choice, then you're going to go into that last D, and it stands for defend, right? And now you're really going to have to go, and ACSD keeps it real simple. The goal of ACSD training is to make you effective in the first 2 to 2.5 hours of training. That's it. To the point, so effective that with this tool, you're going into, right? We use that power shot. Did you hear that? Did you hear? Boom, boom. And it has a psychological effect. We use at the start, the foundational training, it's a power shot template. And once it's go, it is aggressive and it goes with loud, back off, and it's moving forward, and there's a Juggernaut strategy. In particular, she pulls a knife. So if you even see that there's a knife there and I have no other choice, I can't, it's go time. It's go time. But even this that I'm doing, it requires training, because otherwise that adrenaline takes over and you look like a wild fighter coming here all over the place. And that's not the way you want to do it, right? This is not how a trained individual moves. And this is a movement-based system. And at the very foundation, this isn't rocket science, but you need to ingrain that in the nerve system so that it's there for you when you need it, and you're not paralyzed by the fear and shock of the moment to where your voice doesn't even come out because you're in shock. And this is what you want to pass on to your family. It requires training. So that's the D.E.A.D acronym as it applies to the cane. One more thing about defend, you're going to need an empty hand skill set. If you're serious about self-protection, you need it. And over-reliance on any tool, whether it be a firearm or your cane, is not good, because there may be times when you don't have it. Firearm, same thing. There may be times when you can't even have it on you when you need it the most. Yes, this gives you leverage so that, God forbid, if you need, you do have it there to draw, but you're gonna need an empty hand skill set. And American Cane Self-Defense already has that from day one when I developed this 30 years ago. When you learn your cane application, then you would set down your cane and you would look at the empty hand. We call it a translation of what you just did with that cane. That still holds true today, but it's up to you at this point. The way ACSD is being carried out, you need to seek that training. Yes, it requires more time on your part to learn that, but it's certainly well worth it. And these strategies, more important than specifics on the hierarchy. Yes, the skill level, boy, that's what we train, and that's what makes this whole thing fun. And but you got to really, it does require training, especially to handle something like this, right? It's a Raven. This thing is, like I said, it's a bazooka. It's aircraft grade aluminum. We manufacture it here. Where does it all begin? I told you there's a foundation. There's a step by step that you're going to need. And right now, next week, next Monday, June 5th, mark that down, you have another opportunity to do this training and to do it right from the comfort of home. Before you do anything, get on that call. Text the letter CCC for Cane Clarity Call. Let's find out where you are. Let's see what interests you. Let's see how to make it happen. You text CCC to 305-745-7839. You can also give us a call at 800-289-8188. Yes, we still, in this day and age, like talking to you. We love talking to you, matter of fact. All right, I hope that's productive. Go ahead, as always, feel free to comment. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.